All right, let's pull back the curtain. This whole movement, FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, it's not magic, it's not a secret handshake. It's just math, simple math. And it all starts with one number. The goal is not $1 million or some vague rich person fantasy. The goal is a specific number based on your life. It's called the 25X rule. Here's how it works. You take your annual expenses, what you actually spend in a year, and you multiply it by 25. So, if you live on $50,000 a year, your FIRE number is $1.25 million. That's it. That's the target. The retire early date is simply the day you hit that number. And I know what you're thinking. 1.25 million? How's that supposed to last me 40, 50, maybe 60 years? I'll run out. This is the beautiful part. You're not supposed to just let that money sit in a checking account. This number comes from another piece of math, the 4% rule. This rule is the inverse. It's based on a famous paper called the Trinity Study, which found that you could safely withdraw 4% of your investment portfolio, adjust for inflation, and have an extremely high probability of never running out of money. What is 4% of 1.25 million? $50,000. Exactly what you spend. Your portfolio pays for your life. You are financially independent. The math, it just works. But here is the part that really matters. This is the part that separates FIRE from just like getting rich. Your retirement date, it is not based on your income. I'll say it again. It doesn't matter if you make $50,000 or $500,000. Your timeline is determined by one thing: your savings rate, the percentage of your income you save. The traditional advice is to save 10% of your income. You know how long it takes to reach your 25X number if you save 10%? 51 years. That's not FIRE. That's just standard retirement. But what if you saved 50% of your income? Think about it. For every 1 year you work, you're saving 1 full year of living expenses. The math just clicks. Your timeline drops from 51 years down to about 17 years. What about the crazy people? The ones who save 75%. They work for 1 year and save for 3 years of expenses. They can be done in 7 years. That's the simple math. This entire movement isn't really about saving. It's about consciously widening the gap, the space between what you earn and what you spend. And you take that gap, you invest the difference, usually in simple low-cost index funds, and you let the 25X rule and the 4% rule do the rest. Now I know, when I first heard this, I thought the exact same thing you're probably thinking right now. Save 50%? I can barely save 10%. This sounds miserable. This sounds like eating beans and rice in a cold apartment. And that's the single biggest myth about this entire movement. The truth is, this isn't about deprivation. It's about something entirely different. That's the number one rumor, the rice and beans one. The idea that to save 50% or more, you have to live this miserable life of extreme deprivation. And I get it, that's what I thought too. But the truth is, this movement isn't about deprivation. It's about conscious spending. It's about optimizing for happiness. I realized I was spending thousands a year on things that I didn't actually bring me any value. That brand new $70,000 car, that daily $7 latte, it wasn't making me happier. It was just habit. FIRE isn't anti-happiness. It's anti-mindless consumerism. The whole philosophy is to cut back ruthlessly on the things you don't care about, so you can spend extravagantly on the things you do. For me, that's travel. For you, it might be time with your family. Okay, rumor number 2. This is great if you're a 28-year-old tech bro in Silicon Valley making $400,000. And look, a high income makes the math faster, no question. But it is not a prerequisite. Remember, the math is based on your savings rate, not your income. This movement is filled with teachers and nurses and engineers, people who simply focused on the spending side of the equation. A high earner who spends 90% of their income will never retire. A teacher who makes $60,000 but learns to live on $30,000 will be free in 17 years. It's just math. But there are 2 criticisms that are actually valid, and we have to talk about them if we're being honest.
First, that 4% rule, that famous Trinity study. It was based on a 30-year retirement. If you retire at 35, you're planning for a 60-year retirement. This introduces a massive danger called sequence of returns risk. What if the market crashes right after you retire? Withdrawing 4% then can be catastrophic. FIRE proponents aren't naive. They plan for this with flexibility. Many use a lower withdrawal rate like 3.5% or 3.25%. They keep a 1 or 2 year cash buffer so they don't have to sell stocks in a down market. They're willing to be flexible and spend less in bad years. And that brings us to the final, biggest monster, the one that makes most people say, this is a lie. U.S. healthcare. How can you retire when health insurance costs $20,000 a year? This is without question the biggest hurdle for Americans, but it's not a lie. It's just the most complex variable. And people have strategies. The most common? ACA subsidies. By keeping their on-paper income from withdrawals low, many qualify for heavily subsidized insurance. Others plan for fat FIRE, saving so much they can just pay the $20,000 out of pocket. Some even plan on medical tourism. This need for flexibility, for healthcare, for dealing with market crashes, it's actually created a split in the FIRE movement. It's not just one size fits all. It's evolved into different flavors because it turns out not everyone wants to just quit their job forever and play golf. And that's where we get to barista FIRE, coast FIRE, and why the retire early part might be the least important part of the entire idea. And that right there, that's the most important secret of this entire movement. The FI, the financial independence, is infinitely more important than the RE, retire early. When I first started, I had this image of retiring at 40 to a beach, never working again. But the more people I met who did it, the more I realized that wasn't the goal. The goal isn't to stop working. It's to stop working for money you need. It's about having what the community calls FU money, the power to say no to a project you hate, the power to leave a toxic boss, the power to wake up and decide what you want to do with your day. Most people who FIRE, they don't stop working. They start a low-stress business. They pursue a passion. They work part-time. The retirement is from mandatory work, not all work. And because that's the real goal, the community has adapted. It's not this one-size-fits-all, save 75% or fail cult. It's evolved into different flavors of FIRE. You've got lean FIRE. These are the true minimalists, retiring on a bare-bones budget, maybe less than $40,000 a year. It's extreme frugality, but it's the fastest path. On the total opposite end, you have fat FIRE. This is saving a massive portfolio, $5 million or more, so you can retire and live a luxurious lifestyle, spending $100,000 plus a year. But the most popular ones are in the middle. There's barista FIRE. This is the brilliant one for Americans. You save most of your 25x number, say $800,000, then you quit your high-stress corporate job, and you get a part-time gig at Starbucks. Why Starbucks? Because of the health insurance. You take a low-stress barista job just to cover your health insurance and daily spending while your $800,000 nest egg grows completely untouched. And my personal favorite? Coast Fire. This is where you save a big chunk of money really early, say $150,000 by the time you're 30. Thanks to compound interest, that $150,000 can coast to your full FIRE number by age 65 without you adding another penny. So you just switch to a low-stress job to cover your current bills. You have finished saving for retirement at 30. This all feels like a very new, internet-driven idea, right? Blogs like Mr. Money Mustache in 2011. The truth is, this philosophy is decades old. It traces back to a 1992 bestseller, Your Money or Your Life. That book introduced the core idea, the one that changes everything. It taught you to calculate your real hourly wage after factoring in your commute, your work clothes, the extra meals you buy because you're too tired to cook. And then it asks you, when you buy a $1,000 phone, are you spending $1,000? Or are you spending 40 hours of your life energy, time you can never get back? When you start thinking in life energy instead of dollars, everything changes. Your mindset shifts. But that's the philosophy. To actually do it, you need the tactics. You need to know how to widen that gap between earning and spending. It's not just about saving more. It's about a three-pronged attack. And the third one is the one most people forget.